What's up guys, Scorch here, and today for you guys I got a brand new video. This one's going to be how to get your 3D vehicle model set up for work in Unity. I'm using Blender right now, and most of the time 3D models will come in either a zip file, or I've seen them come in 7Z files, or sometimes it's just a direct OBJ download or some other 3D file format. Or it comes in an RIR file. I use WinRAR just to extract it to a random folder so that there's not just a bunch of stuff on your desktop then. Doesn't seem like we got a whole lot of textures here. This stuff might be used for something, but DAE files you can open up in Blender, and this is what the vehicle looks like. To save everybody some time, I went ahead and separated the seat. That was, so like, that right here, that one light is one object. It's somewhere in there, but, okay, so this one's just one object called that. So what I'd do is I'd press and hold shift and select that, and then to link these, just Control and J at the same time, and that links both of them into the same thing. And if you select something down here, now we know that one is that light, but if we click on it, it highlights. So I can unlock my scroll wheel and just let it spin. So I just go down kind of slow until I see which one's lit up. It's useful for if you have tons and tons of things. It's easy to find which one's linked. Not in edit mode. You can click on things and push H to hide them. And then, like, we want seat 0 separated, so it's just that was all one object, that was all just one of these. So I just held Control, left click, renamed it to seat 0, and it moved it down to here. Then I did it with that too. This stuff in the back here, it's got an entire interior to it. So what I did is I selected this, hit tab to enter edit mode, and then I selected these four, because the seat really doesn't have to be the entire seat, it can just be a part of it. So I just selected this, hit P, and then separated it by selection, and that would be seat 2. So it goes seat 0, 1, 2, 3, and then if there's some on the back, then like 4, 5, 6, 7, so on and so forth. But it always starts out at 0 first. But I already did that, and then I did that as seat 3 then. And then just it's tab to exit edit mode then. So like if we hide the interior, you can see that that is seat 2 and that is seat 3. Alt H unhides everything. Then I did the same thing with the headlights and the lights up on this light bar. Labeled those headlights model, has to be plural, that S has to be there. Same thing with the taillights. I linked these, taillights model, and then I did it with the steering wheel as well. This had the inner part and the outer part, so I just selected the inner part, pressed and held shift, left click on the outer part then too to select that, Control J, out of edit mode, links it, then I clicked on it, selected it like this, scrolled through here to find out which one was lit up, and then I renamed it to steer. The tires, those were a little bit difficult. Those were moved actually, so if we hit 3 on the number pad to jump to the left side view, these were all just in with the rest of the mesh. So like each one of these bolts was a separate item, so I just selected everything on all of the wheels. And another way to select stuff is, so say we want all the parts of this door. Well, if we click that, there's interior glass too, I noticed. So you can't select that while the outer one's selected. So as long as nothing is selected, so Alt H and then just drag an empty box, you can select stuff with H. Select multiple different things, clear it out, and then hit Alt H, and everything that you've hidden will now be selected. So that's another good way to link things that are inside of each other. So like if I wanted to link the windows or something. But really the only thing that I have left to do now is combine everything else, because really we just need the seats, the steering wheel, headlights and taillights, and the tires. But the tires have to be separated. So we're going to hit A to select everything, hit H to hide everything, and then we're going to hit this little I button over here to unhide the tires. So we're going to select this, enter edit mode with tab, push Z, go to wireframe mode, select all of one tire, hit P, separate by selection, and that is going to be tire underscore 0. That's what we're going to label that. And then we can select this one, separate tire underscore 1. No, that's 2. This is 1. You go 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then that one's just that, so we can just go underscore 3. And then we can hit tab to exit edit mode again, push Z, go back to solid mode, Alt H to unhide everything, and then our wheels are separated. Maybe. Well, that's odd. Alright, so it would appear that this model is a bit different than the other ones. So if we hide all the tires, actually if we just hide everything, bring back tire 3, select it, enter edit mode, enter wireframe, select that, separate that as tire 3, then exit that, go back into solid mode. Now it's a solid tire, and it's not just the wireframe for all of them. Because if we go Alright, so for whatever reason this is like the wireframe for the wheels. So you shouldn't need that, so we can just delete that. And then we can rename our tire 3 period back to just tire 3. Then we really just need all of this, the headlights, our 4 tires separated, our steering wheel, all of our seats, and our tail lights. And then it's just the rest of the model. So we're going to Alt-H. We're going to hide all of this. And then everything here is going to be all one object. So, and for whatever reason, I noticed that if you select like the door or something like that, and then hit A to select everything, and then Control J, it changes the texture of some stuff. So you might have to go back and back before you link everything and try selecting a different thing and pushing A and then join, just until everything at least looks like it's the same color. Yeah, looks like everything's all good. And then anything with a triangle is the rest of the body. So this is all just the body of the rest of the vehicle. So all of this stuff we don't need anymore. We can straight up just delete that, and then Alt-H, and then we have everything that we need. I mean, it's in some weird scaling and rotating, but everything's here rotated 90 degrees. This is rotated 180 degrees, and with a really weird scale. So whatever this guy did in SketchUp is a little sketchy. Huh. Yeah, that one wasn't going anywhere. But alright, so now we should be able to export this as an OBJ. And first things first, you want to go down here to Object as OBJ Objects. You want to uncheck that, and Object as OBJ Groups. You want to check that. What that's going to do is by unchecking that and by checking that, you're telling it to have everything labeled by this group. Like all of these polygons are grouped together in the body. Right? It's a lot of textures or materials. But yeah, so export OBJ. Go in here, check that, and once you export one thing, if you delete everything, so like say you exported that, right? And you delete everything and start building the next thing. When you go to export that, it's going to look like this when you open it up. OBJ groups is already going to be checked. If you close out Blender and relaunch it, then it's going to reset and it's going to look exactly how it looks here. And you're going to have to recheck that. If you're using an FBX, should be all good. But for the sake of keeping things organized and making sure that it works, I'd just do OBJ groups. And then just desktop export, and that is going to export both the 3D file and the list of materials that it is. And from here you can just rename this stuff as like hero or something. I don't know if making sure they're both named the same thing is essential or not, but I don't know. Then from there, this should open up in Unity perfectly fine. It's just the biggest thing is separating all that stuff. And I walked through the most basic stuff that you're going to need to know. There's some really good Blender tutorials that go way more in depth. I would definitely recommend checking that out if you're looking at alright, so I got a second monitor over here, so I'm going to just move those over here. Otherwise, you can move them into here or something. And then go over here. That's going to load them all in. And I was kind of hoping that the materials would transfer, but it would appear that they didn't. So that's why we leave Blender open. Real quick, let me see if there is material groups maybe. Alright, so let's see if that makes a difference. Alright, so untitled is with the materials and stuff. Alright, so yeah, that did make a difference. Alright, so when you export this, make sure, so it'll look like this. You have to uncheck OBJ objects, check OBJ groups, and also check material groups. And that is going to export it with all the colors and stuff that you need. So then, because right now if I drag this in here, nothing's textured. There's no colors on it at all. It is labeled as the right stuff. Don't worry about this extra stuff that's on the end of that. Just rename it again. And apparently the material got messed up. So, Right, so light gray, dark gray, so it exported it as that stuff. That's all cool gray apparently. Light goldenrod yellow. So yeah, SketchUp stuff is really weird. But that's about how it is. You just have to fiddle with this stuff and maybe go in here and somehow select via texture, or select via material, select linked material. No, that's not what we want. Alright, so that apparently has 3 different colors, so I don't know, this is so much easier with using textures rather than really anything else. Because you got quite a few, like 30 or some textures. Maybe it's only 16. That really doesn't seem like 16, but yeah, that's pretty much how it works. Just because we can, we're going to try an FBX file. Alright, so that did the same thing as the other one. So, maybe what it is if we keep going back, never mind, that's as far back as we can go. Okay, so this one's got because like the base color, normally you could put in, normally it'd be an image texture, and then in shading there'd be a picture here. So like you just go to desktop, we can just throw in a random picture, and then we just connect color to base color. And then it'd give that as the base color. It'd be that UV mapped, and then you'd have to go to UV editing and edit all the stuff. The entire trick shows up and down in that corner, but so but yeah, that would be the general idea of how you do that. Just pretty much separate the tires and steering wheel and the seats. Keep in mind that you don't have to do all of the seat, headlights and taillights. That's about it. And then just everything else you can throw in one thing, or if I could go back further, I'd see if there's a way to separate it based on the material. So like everything that uses material 9 would be something completely separate. It'd be body underscore material 9, and same thing with tracks and stuff like that. But I'm not sure how to do that in Blender. It's extremely easy to do in ZModeler, but that's a whole different program, and you have to pay to use it. Unless it's your first time, then you get a 15-day free trial, and then it just doesn't work after the 15 days, and then you'd have to pay to get your account activated and stuff. But yeah, I apologize if this didn't really help. SketchUp models are fairly confusing. But we are going to export this as an OBJ, and I didn't close this, so it all shows up like this. So but yeah, and then we can also rename it here. So like, we want it named Ural. It's gonna auto put the extension on, and that'll export back to the desktop. So I don't know how to get the materials right. And this little check bar can view and unview things. It's like apparently the entire outside body of this vehicle is supposed to be gray, even though it's green in here. So I think selecting the door and then selecting the rest of the body and hitting Control J and messing it up visually in here, I think that might keep the materials the same in here. Either that or it would just keep it the same as what it is now. But yeah, it's weird how it... I don't really understand why it messed up the materials. It shouldn't have. So I don't know what's going on with that. So I apologize that I couldn't be more help with that aspect. But a lot of times you won't have any material issues like you do, or like I'm having with this one. You're not going to have any material issues with that. So really with this one, it's just a matter of messing around with it until I find something that works. And seeing how I can't undo anymore and get the body unseparated and stuff. I'd have to completely redo the vehicle, or just sort of or figure out how to separate the model based, or separate the body based on what material there is, because there's only like 16 materials or something like that. So there's all of these. I feel like more like I feel like that's a lot closer to 30, but yeah, not sure how to fix the material issue with this. So sorry for the rant. Also sorry for this being 31 minutes long, but yeah. Quick recap: just headlights, taillights, steering wheel, whatever seats you need, however many you need, everything else in the body, and the individual tires. And that's about it. Then it's just a matter of figuring out how to make the physical vehicle in Unity. And lucky for me, I already made a video on how to do that. So, side note, if you watch that video, it's like an hour and a half long. There's like a 30-minute update video for it. I highly recommend you watching the update video as well, because there's a lot of stuff in there that I didn't cover in the first one, that I didn't know about in the first one. I found out after I made the first video. So that's kind of an update, like, hey, this is everything I learned since I made the other video. There's a lot of stuff in there, like how to make more realistic headlights and a bunch of other stuff. How to fix some slow-moving vehicle errors and whatnot. So I would highly recommend checking out that. Sadly, kind of getting out of modding because I exported that, so I'm going to save this as a Blender file. Just so that we can open that back up if need be. Then I'm going to move all that stuff back out here, so that we have the very original file. And then the Blender file with everything that I did, and then the exported Blender file as an OBJ. But if we take a real quick look in here, under imports and stuff like that, I have an entire Apex Legends pack, a Born Beast pack, which I'm really looking forward to, an entire Fallout New Vegas pack. That one's going to have a lot of stuff in it. Miscellaneous, that's just a bunch of random stuff that I'm going to sort out in different packs later. It might all go in the Fallout New Vegas under like some sort of, I don't know, some sort of like Vault 22 Science Test Range pack or something like that. I don't know. And then I'll make an entire Warframe pack too. This one, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the supplies and stuff, like credits and stuff like that, that's Forma, like Forma. That's all two-dimensional. Like everything, most of the stuff in here, like can't really worry about the blueprint. So like everything right there, that's all just two-dimensional pictures. So like Prime Hilt, 3D model, kind of looks like a Prime Hilt, hopefully. Forma, this one looks pretty close. Pretty close to a Forma. It's close enough for my standards. Everybody's gonna yell at me for being too high poly. Polymer bundle, this is ridiculously close. mean, you don't really get a good picture of it here, but that's pretty close. But yeah, there's a lot of different stuff. And then I want to get this stuff. These are just the blueprints, so it's just gonna look like this when it's dropped on the ground. And then you have to pick this up. So like for this, you're gonna have to pick up a hilt, 2 blades, 2 nitin extract, 1 forma, and this blueprint in order to make the Broken War melee weapon. So it's gonna be very cool. The amount of blueprints that this stuff is gonna be in, it's gonna be ridiculous. So yeah. And I think the only thing that let's see. Yeah, because the melee weapon is going to have the DAT file calling for a blueprint that requires the blueprint and everything else. So yeah, you still have to get as soon as you get like nitin extract or something like that, it's going to pop up with a bunch of different weapons that you can build. But you are going to need to obtain the blueprint in order to make the weapon as well. So I'm really looking forward to the Warframe pack. Kind of been getting burned out lately with just doing too many models too fast. Kind of getting tired of it, so I'll probably finish working on these packs, and that'll be it. Sadly, it's kind of how it's gonna go. And then I'm just gonna be recording maybe walkthrough tutorials or how-tos or just tips and tricks for different games. I might do one on GTA or something like that. Probably do tons more on Warframe. I do a few more on Trove because my Trove videos got quite a bit of views. And it doesn't seem like there's too many Trove videos out, but Trove eats up way too much of my hotspot data. So, yeah, might do a Terraria video, something like that. But yeah, I think I've taken up enough of your time now. I don't think anybody's here anymore. I think everybody paused the video and left. If you stayed till this far, thank you. I appreciate it. Let me know in the comments section, and maybe we can get together on Warframe or something like that and go do some farming. But yeah, that'll be it for this one. Sorry for this being not 31 minutes, but 40 minutes now. I kind of tend to go off on rants and don't realize it. So, alright, but yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully this kind of helped you. If not, stop over my Discord server and ask for more help, and I'll help you as best I can. See you in the next one. Peace.